Welcome back to Tipping Point. I'm your host, Kara McKinney. The hockey stick graph has long been a staple of climate alarmists, going back to the days of global warming before the more vague term climate change came into vogue. Of course, to cover up for their failed predictions, the graph is the brainchild of Penn State professor Michael Mann. His 1998 hockey stick study purported to show that the Earth's temperatures have been relatively flat or stable, like the long handle of a hockey stick, only ticking up in the 20th century with the introduction of the mass burning of fossil fuels, resembling the blade of a hockey stick if you laid it down on the ground with the blade part sticking up. Our next guest tonight debunked this myth 6 years ago, in fact, in his book, The Politically Incorrect Guide to Climate Change, arguing in part, quote, influential, yes. Accurate? No. Peer-reviewed research, both before and after Mann's hockey stick, show that both the medieval warm period and the Roman warm period were as warm as or warmer than modern temperatures. In fact, the 1990 UN IPCC report originally featured a temperature chart showing a medieval warm period that was much warmer than 20th century temperatures, end quote. Now, the reason why I bring this up now is because the hockey stick is going on trial in Washington, D.C. Michael Mann sued conservative pundit Mark Steyn 12 years ago for defamation, he says, and now the case is going before a judge. National Review describes it this way. In a 2012 blog post on National Review's website, Steyn called Mann's research fraudulent. During his cross-examination of the University of Pennsylvania climatologist, Steyn, who is representing himself, questioned Mann about his association with a former Penn State University president whom he called an enabler of Jerry Sandusky, the school's infamous former football coach and serial child molester who was referenced in Steyn's blog post. He asked about controversial climate data that Mann and his colleagues used to create graphs documenting the Earth's changing temperatures. The two also had a heated exchange over a private email Mann wrote in 2012 in which he said it was his hope that through the lawsuit, he could ruin this pathetic excuse for a human being, referring to Steyn, end quote. Not only has our next guest written about this topic, he's also been physically at the trial of the century. Mark Morano is the founder of ClimateDepot.com, and he joins us now. Thanks for being here tonight, Mark.
Thank you, Kara. Happy to be here.
Great. So as we just saw, you've been there covering the case. So where does it stand now? Have we reached concluding arguments, or are we waiting for a ruling? What's the latest on those nuts and bolts?
Well, actually, it's been going on about 2.5 weeks, and this is Mark Steyn putting up the defense, and their judge wants this case wrapped up by the end of this week. So as of right now, they don't go to court on Friday. Court hours are better than bankers' hours. They only work limited time, long breaks, long lunch, starting late, and they don't work Friday. So it could be all wrapped up by this Thursday. From all accounts, it appears that Mark Steyn, by the way, acting as his own lawyer, which is phenomenal, he is getting to cross-examine Michael Mann directly. He got Michael Mann to admit on the witness stand to just nasty behavior. There's another climatologist, Dr. Judith Curry, that Michael Mann admitted he was spreading rumors about, saying that she had essentially slept her way to the top because she ended up marrying one of her, one of the people at the university. And Mann then later was forced to admit on the trial that he gave inaccurate information and that it was wrong. This is a nasty, what would you call it, a petty person. And Michael Mann's people have been fighting to get anyone to challenge this hockey stick temperature graph. The whole key to this is the ClimateGate email scandal, which even Mann's own colleagues, the emails came out and revealed they didn't support the hockey stick and everything that he did to make that happen. In fact, when I worked in the Senate, Kara, we had scientists come forward and say because of that first UN report that showed the medieval warm period much warmer than current temperatures, UN scientists actually sent out emails to each other saying, we have to get rid of the medieval warm period. Well, enter Michael Mann, and that's where this came. In 2001, the UN featured it, and this was a huge push to show that temperatures were unprecedented. The problem was it wasn't true. And this, you can go back and multiple peer-reviewed studies, even the New York Times reporters have noted the Roman warming period as warmer and the medieval warm period as warmer. So that's at the heart of this, but the real heart of it as well, there's so many elements here. It's why they call it the climate trial of the century, is the free speech angle. This is America. We're not in England. There's no we don't have the same defamation. We have a freedom of speech.